So the other day, somebody tweeted this. Presidents never came for the Second Amendment. Did Obama take your guns? Did Clinton take your guns? No and no. And so I responded, your wife tried to cheat on you. Did your wife cheat on you? No. Would you be pissed if she tried? Yep. For some people, making this argument, they're just inherently being disingenuous and intellectually dishonest. To the other people, they're just ignorant. They don't know anything. They don't know about the history of gun control in this country and the attempts at gun control in this country. So they think that because now they were able to go out and buy a gun, that their rights aren't really in any danger. Talk about privilege. Talk about being spoiled. The idea that there have been people who have been fighting to protect this right for decades, fighting against the other side who has been trying to restrict the right into oblivion. And then you benefiting from the turmoil and the fighting and everything that they've done from an advocacy standpoint, for you to be able to just decide to pick up a gun, go to the store and go and buy a gun, and to think that your rights aren't in danger because you were able to do it off the backs of the people who have been fighting for your right to be able to do that in the first place, and then to turn around and spit in their face and say, well, you're just fear-mongering. No, Obama didn't take the guns. The other presidents didn't take the guns. What?
Sheer hubris.
The irony behind this whole thing is Clinton actually did come for the guns. He did. He banned assault weapons in '94 until 2004.
President Bill Clinton announced the assault weapons ban as part of the crime bill in 1994.
These things can be prevented.
It was a reaction to several high-profile events, including a shooting in 1989 at an elementary school in Stockton, California. That involved a semi-automatic version of an AK-47. A few states put their own assault weapons bans into place that year, but it wasn't until Clinton signed the crime bill in September 1994 that it became a federal ban.
But to further the irony even more, guess who right now is trying to push for an assault weapons ban? And not only trying to push for an assault weapons ban, but an assault weapons ban that's even more restrictive than the assault weapons ban we had in '94. Joe Biden.
I think we have to, in fact, have universal background checks, eliminate assault weapons as being illegal to be sold or owned in the United States, as well as limiting the number of bullets that can be in a clip to 10.
Got assault weapons banned. I got magazines that could not hold more than 10 rounds in them. I got them eliminated, except we had a thing called an election with hanging chads in Florida, and it was not reauthorized.
That is somebody who's going to be our president, who is literally trying to push for an assault weapons ban. Not only is he trying to push for an assault weapons ban, his vice president, Kamala Harris, also trying to push for an assault weapons ban.
And I'm announcing it for the first time today here with you, to take executive action to ban the import of assault weapons into our country.
Do you believe in the mandatory buyback of quote-unquote assault weapons? And whether or not you do, how does that idea not go against fundamentally the Second Amendment?
Yeah, great question. I do believe that we need to do buybacks. So one, I'll tell you, when elected president, if the United States Congress continues to fail to have the courage to do something about this, I'm prepared to take executive action and put in place a ban on the importation of assault weapons into our country. But we still have to deal with the over 2 million assault weapons that are currently in the streets of America. And so a buyback program is a good idea.
The entirety of the Democrat Party is trying to push for an assault weapons ban. I don't understand for the life of me how anybody could sit there and see this and say, they're not trying to take your guns. They're not. What do you think a ban is? This is called an assault weapon ban. Not an assault weapon, here you go. Come on, this is disingenuous. And it's annoying because there's so many other things that we have to fight and deal with. And the one thing we don't need is people on our side of the issue, or allegedly on our side of the issue, trying to somehow undermine our arguments by saying no one's coming for our guns when you literally have blatant examples of them doing just that. If they actually really cared about the Second Amendment, because they love to say, I'm for the Second Amendment, but we gotta have some laws. Look at California. Look at New York. I can't even fly to New York right now with a gun without being thrown in jail. Even though I have a concealed carry license and I'm completely legal in my state, if I go to New York with a gun, I go to jail. Where is Joe Biden fighting for my Second Amendment rights there in New York? Where's Joe Biden fighting for the Second Amendment rights in places like California for the people who have to deal with the California gun laws where there's a new gun restriction every 30 seconds? 1 minute it's a bullet button. Next minute it's a ammo ban. Next minute it's an ammo registration. Then it's a tax. Then it's all these nonsense laws that they continuously pile up on top of each other every single day. They literally have a list of guns that you can buy in California. If the gun's not on that list, you can't buy it. So basically they're saying you have no gun rights except for these rights right here, right here, right here. When it literally says in the Second Amendment, shall not be infringed. You can call it extreme all you want. It's in the damn document. It says shall not be infringed. Yet California goes, we're going to infringe completely on all your gun rights. But these guns, you can have those. Those you can have. That's not a right, that's a privilege at that point. So where's Joe Biden? Where's Kamala Harris? Where are all the other Democratic political leaders? Where are all the Republican anti-gun political leaders? I'm pretty sure there are some. Where are they defending the rights of those people in those places? They're nowhere to be found. You don't even hear about it. The only time you ever hear them talk about the Second Amendment is when it has to do with restricting it. I've never heard any of them talk about how can we defend the Second Amendment. Anytime there's a law, anytime there's a court case that comes down the pipeline and the court says, nope, this particular law encroaches on the Second Amendment rights. I don't hear any of these political representatives that are supposedly for the Second Amendment, but more gun restrictions. I never hear any of them come out and say, you know what? We agree with that ruling. Ever. They never do because they don't want you to have the right. They don't. So please stop. Stop with this. Oh, no, they didn't come for the guns. They didn't try. Obama definitely tried to come for the guns. I did a video years ago, and I'll play it here. I did a video years ago, and the question was, will Obama come for our guns? Is Obama really coming for our guns now that he has 4 more years? Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. If Obama is coming for our guns, we won't know about it until we know about it. It won't be outright anti-gun legislation. It'll be Trojan horse legislation. Legislation of which will be innocent enough on its face, but in its enforcement will have a substantial impact on our Second Amendment rights. But in whatever he does decide to do, understand that it's going to be covert, very insidious, and slick. And I stated very specifically, in his first term, he really didn't do anything. However, in his second term, now that he's more comfortable, he may try something. And he did. He did. He tried to utilize his executive power to pass as much gun control as he could under his executive power. The reason why I had to use executive power, because the things that he wanted to do, he couldn't do it because he did not have the support in Congress.
A few minutes ago, a minority in the United States Senate decided it wasn't worth it. They blocked common sense gun reforms, even while these families looked on from the Senate gallery.
If you ask me where has been the one area where I feel that I've been most frustrated and most stymied, it is the fact that the United States of America is the one advanced nation on earth in which we do not have sufficient common sense gun safety laws.
And I'm calling on Congress to pass some very specific proposals right away. Congress should restore a ban on military-style assault weapons and a 10-round limit for magazines.
Which is why I said it was so important, that we make sure that the Democrats do not gain control of the Senate and the House. That's why, because now it's a free-for-all with respect to them. You're going to be seeing bills coming down the pipeline like mad. I've done like 2 of them or 3 of them in the last couple of days. And that's because their inherent goal is to restrict the right into oblivion. On paper, it'll say you have a Second Amendment right. But if I can't buy any guns, if I can't utilize certain guns, if I can't have the right to carry my firearm outside of my house, or damn near can't even keep a gun in my house, do I really have the right? Do I? It's like saying you have the privilege to drive, but then deny me access to a car or deny me access to gas. I don't have the right to drive at that point. So no, stop it. Stop. Just stop doing this. It's disingenuous. It's incredibly disingenuous. And then it's either disingenuous or exceedingly ignorant. So stop. No, they did. They absolutely did. Like I said in my response, if you had a wife or a spouse or whatever, and they tried to cheat on you, and they just couldn't make it happen, and you found out, you would still be mad. It would still make you angry. You don't care whether or not they were actually able to. You don't go, man, my bad, babe. You know, I get it. You tried to cheat, but you didn't cheat, so I ain't worried about it. What? No. It's the intent. And their intent is to restrict the Second Amendment into oblivion. Plain and simple. 1835 in Texas, soon after a weapons confiscation request, the ladies of the settlement hastily made a flag to fly over a cannon being requested to be confiscated. The flag featured a black cannon in the center, the words "come and take it" below, and 1 star above the requested weapon to be confiscated, representing the Lone Star State. Today, there was another growing gun confiscation request in all 50 of our states requesting to confiscate our AR-15s. We want the government to know what would happen if they tyrannically passed their so-called assault weapons ban. "I will not comply" is a symbolization of defiance against politicians, anti-gunners, and any other tyrannical entity looking to deprive you or your Second Amendment right as put forth in the Constitution of the United States. All right, now we have the performance mask at shop.mrcolionnoir.com. And no, these aren't the masks that suffocate you to death. You can breathe in this mask. It's lightweight material, very high quality. You know how I do. I'm sure the YouTube algorithm is going to do a phenomenal job of suppressing this message. So please share this video with as many people as you can so we can beat the algorithm and get our two-way message out to the masses. Also, don't forget to like this video and leave a comment and hit the bell and subscribe button. If you're looking for where to purchase your Defund Gun Control shirts, hats, and drinkware, there's a link in the description section of this video.